Hello, I'm Kira. I'll be your social worker. What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, nice to meet you. How's everything going?
Well, my parents are being annoying.
They're being annoying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we get started, we do have to go over confidentiality. Do you know what confidentiality is, or?
It's something about, like, you just can't tell anybody.
Pretty much something like that. You kind of got the right thing. Pretty much what it is anything that you and I say here, I cannot go to anyone else. I cannot talk to anyone else about what we discuss between you and I. So the only time that I feel like I would have to bring it up to somebody would be my supervisor, and that's if I feel that you are harm to yourself or others. So do you kind of...
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to hurt anybody, so whatever.
That's fine. I mean, just as a precaution. I'm not saying that you are or anything, just as a precaution. It's what I have to do for our agency policy, so... Alright, so what's been going on? You said that your parents are annoying you?
Yeah, they made me come here today.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're not... It's gotta be hard to have someone force you to just go and talk to someone.
Yeah, well, like, it's in the middle of my school day. I should be in class right now.
Yeah, but at least you get to talk to someone about what's going on, and you are missing a class or two, but I think it'll be beneficial for you in the long run to talk about whatever's going on and any issues that may have been going on lately. So has anything, or, I'm sorry, what's been going on in school, or?
Well, I'm just living my life, you know. I got some new friends. I'm in high school now, and my parents are freaking out because they think I'm turning into, I don't know, like a monster or something, but...
Right. What are they freaking out about?
They don't like my friends.
And what makes them not like your friends, would you say?
They're a bad influence on me.
And how does that make you feel, that they say that to you?
Well, they're my friends. It's my life. I can do what I want.
Right. And what would you say, what would you say your parents would say, why would they feel that they're a bad influence?
Because I'm coming home late, and I guess I'm dressing differently. Whatever that means.
And they said this to you? They've voiced this, saying that, Michelle, you're dressing differently, or they've actually talked to you about it, or?
Yeah, they yell at me all the time. They tell me I'm not allowed to leave the house in the clothes that I'm wearing, or I have to be home by a certain time, but I just do whatever I want.
Right. Well, it sounds like you and your parents are in kind of two different playing fields right now. Sounds like they don't really know how to take you, and you don't really know how to respond to or take them for criticizing you, or whatever the case may be. So when you guys fight like that, what the fight's about exactly?
They yell at me because I'm not focusing on my schoolwork, and I'm not the perfect child like my older sister. They're always comparing me to my older sister.
What's your relationship like with your older sister?
She's in college. I don't talk to her anymore.
Okay. And what was your relationship like when she was living with you?
We were sisters. We got on each other's nerves, but, we banded together against my parents. Like, it was kind of us. But she's gone now.
And what changed that you don't talk to her anymore?
She's busy at college, and I have my friends, and...
Okay. Well, I'm sure your sister still, it sounds like you guys pretty much have a pretty good relationship. She just is busy, from my understanding. So I think that, especially when you're in high school, friends are definitely one of the priorities, I would say. So I feel that it's going to be important to have your friends around, and when your parents are telling you one thing and you want to be with your friends, it's kind of hard, especially when you are still living at home, and I'm sure it's hard to to try and listen to your parents and try to follow their rules, but at the same time you want to hang out with your friends or do whatever you want. So I bet that's probably challenging, I would say.
Yeah, they treat me like a child, and I'm 15 years old. I mean, I can drive a car next year.
Right.
I don't understand why they're so controlling.
Yeah, it sounds like that you have a lot of pressure from your parents, maybe. That they kind of want you to do one thing, and you know you're fresh in high school. You still have a lot to experience. Still have a lot that high school has to offer. So I could understand that. You know, you want to do one thing, but your parents are telling you one thing, and they still, in your eyes, they still treat you like a child, pretty much. But have you ever thought from their perspective why they might be treating you that way?
It's just because they're mean and I don't know, they want to control everything.
And how do they control you?
Well, they tell me what I can do, when I can do it. I have to go home and do chores all the time. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and it does, it's not fun, that's for sure. But I feel that they kind of, living under their house, they do want to still implement some rules for you, probably, as hard as that is to hear.
Yeah, but they're stupid rules.
They're stupid.
Yeah. I mean, why do I have to go rake up the leaves? They're just gonna fall on the ground again.
Right. I mean, I think that we've all had to do chores growing up that we're not very fond of. That's for sure. I think that's all part of growing up with your parents. And there's days that it's just going to be lousy, honestly. There's going to be days that they're going to ask you to do something and you're going to be like, why do I have to do that? But I think that it's just part of growing up, living with your parents, and it's just something that you just got to do, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, I get the chores thing,
Yeah.
but, I mean, why do I have to come talk to a social worker? I'm not doing anything different. I'm just hanging out with my friends.
I think that maybe your parents are concerned, since they have been seeing a little bit of a change. I think that they, maybe, has something been, what's been going on with school academically? How are your grades?
They're average.
They're
Sometimes I don't feel like going to class, so I don't.
Okay. And I think that they are aware of that, since, you know, they are living with you and they do know what's going on with schoolwork, and they have been noticing that you haven't been going to class. So I think they're just concerned, and they don't want you to take a I don't know, just, they just want the best for you, pretty much. And they don't want you to take the wrong path and end up not going to classes, and then one thing leads to another, and they just want to take the precaution. I think they just care about you, and they just want you to talk to someone and see what's been going on, since they probably feel that maybe you're not comfortable talking to them. Would that be true? Maybe?
I mean, I know they want me to go to class. I know they want me to think about my future, but I'm 15 years old. I'm only a freshman. I mean, I have plenty of time.
Right. Yeah, I think that maybe for your parents that it's hard for them to see that you're changing and evolving into a young adult. So maybe that's hard for them to grasp. Maybe that's why they feel that they still need to implement a lot of rules for you. So do you think that, how would you feel about coming up with a compromise that you do certain amount of chores, but they give you maybe some space, some time with friends?
Well, I don't see why they have to be so controlling. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to drop out of high school. I mean, I don't see why they're so worried about it.
Okay. I understand that it's hard to see where they're coming from, especially if you feel independent and want to hang out with your friends, and you just want to kind of find yourself. And I think that takes a lot of a person, and it's definitely something that everyone goes through in high school or whatever age. So I think to find your independence, find yourself, that is something you gotta find on your own, and whether your parents are there or not. So I think that it's hard for them to see that, and they're just concerned like any other parent, I think, for their child just starting high school. It's pretty nerve-wracking. So it's nerve-wracking to see your child grow up into a young adult, so I think they're kind of taking some precaution. But I mean, I can see why you'd be very overwhelmed by that, though. There's a lot going on, it sounds like, starting high school and new friends, new school, different classes.
Yeah. But it's just school. School is school.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I know, but school's really important, though. That's when you really start to meet your friends and find out pretty much who you are as a person. So I think that it's grounds for finding out who you are. I mean, you're in school most of the day, 5 days a week. That's pretty significant, I would say. So I think it's a big influence, and that's probably why they're concerned. But how would you say that your relationship is right now with your parents?
Besides them yelling at me or giving me rules, we don't really talk much. I go home, do my homework, go out with friends, see them at night, go to bed.
Okay. And what's the reason that you don't talk to them that much?
Because they never listen. They don't respect me as a person. They treat me like a child.
And you say that they treat you like a child. What makes you feel like they treat you like a child when they talk to you?
Well, they say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. We're your parents. We know better, and blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm. And that's gotta be frustrating to hear, I can assume. For them to kind of just tell you how things need to be, how you should think, and... So.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know what it's like to be a teenager in this day and age. They always say, we were young once,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that was like 50 years ago.
Right. And how do you normally react when they talk to you like that?
Well, I don't really like fighting with them, so I just kind of look at them and then wait till they're done and walk away.
So you just kind of let them say what they want to say, and then just don't really have much of a response. You just let them say what they have to say and just walk away, pretty much. It sounds like that to you it's not really worth saying anything back. Is that what?
No, I mean, I don't want to fight with them.
Right. And I think maybe you're feeling when that does happen, and if you do say something, then it's just going to be pointless. It sounds like that your parents are just going to dismiss it anyway, possibly, and then that they pretty much won't be hearing what you have to say. And that's kind of what I'm getting from you, is that they don't really want to listen from your standpoint.
Yeah, they just dismiss my perspective and say that it's just me being a teenager.
I wonder if it's not that they don't want to hear you and they just want to dismiss it, but I feel that maybe it's just hard for them to listen, and I think that might take some time, that it's going to be hard to listen to what their youngest girl has to say. I mean, they already went through it with your sister, I'm sure, so I feel like it's more hard to listen to what you have to say than it is that they don't want to, so that might take some time, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna start listening though.
Right. And I think that they'll start listening more the more you vent to them and tell them how you feel, I think, and more sincere about it. I think that if you keep walking away from it and turning your back on it, then they're just going to think that she doesn't care, maybe. So maybe if you'd be open to it, if you just want to start, whenever they bring up anything like that, just state your opinion, or even if it's not during the time that you guys are having conversation or arguing about something, maybe on a separate occasion when things are pretty mellow and you're just hanging out or something like that, and you just want to be like Mom, I kind of want to tell you, you've been pressuring me or anything like that. Like, just kind of tell her how you feel, that you want to spend more time with your friends, and, you know, it's kind of an important time in your life where friends are important. You're 15. So, but, I mean, that could be something that's gradual, but I would probably suggest bringing it up maybe when you guys are not arguing, and that's when they would maybe listen more to you.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that? Would you agree that they would probably listen more?
My mom might. My dad won't.
Okay. And why do you say that?
He's very, I don't know, traditional, I guess. He's the head of the household and everybody listens to him.
So it's harder to get through to him, is
Yeah.
what it sounds like. That might take some time then, especially if it's always been that way with your family. But I think that maybe whoever you feel comfortable with talking to first, I think that's what's important, what's most important. And and you still have a couple years left in high school, so, you know, it's something that they're going to have to gradually see you changing as a young adult into a young adult. And I think that over time, they'll be more accepting and listening to you more, because it's frustrating for them and you, I think, for this time. Yeah.
I just can't wait to get out of the house.
And that'll come with due time. I think that everybody that's been in high school has always wanted to just leave and start their own life and do what they want to do. But that does come with time, but it'll go by quick too. So I think that right now where you're at in high school, it's good, and it's a good start, and like I said, it's going to really bring you forward, and you're going to really see who you are, I think. And, you know, freshman in high school, 15 years old, it's pretty significant, it's pretty important, and it's nerve-wracking, and I'm sure you're feeling a lot of things right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have to fit in, I don't know, the high school is so complicated, and it's big, and
it's completely different than middle school, that's for sure.
I guess. I mean, the classes aren't bad, it's just the atmosphere is different.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but it's a good different, I think. So, but I think for our session today, I think we talked about a lot of good things and got a lot of things out there about how your parents are concerned with your friends and how you might be changing, or academics, and how you feel pressured by them, that they're kind of controlling you, want you to be a certain way, and that they just that they pretty much won't treat you like the young adult that you want to be treated. So I feel like, you know, you've voiced that you do feel that pressure and you do feel controlled, but I think that you do know what you have to do. You do know that, you know, that school is important, and that they pretty much, that you have a good head on your shoulders, that you have a pretty good influence in your life, and you know what you have to do. And I think that a lot of people are not gonna, it sounds like you have a lot of strengths in the sense that people probably won't pressure you as much. I think that you are really influential in yourself, I think, and you are aware of the problems with your parents and issues. So I think that's good that you know what's going on in your surroundings in school. I know lots has been going on with starting school, so you have a lot on your plate right now, but I think that you're handling really, really well for right now. So I think for our next meeting together, then we'll talk about more what's going on with your parents, and if they've been acting any differently towards you, or if you guys been compromising at all with giving you more space and you doing more chores or anything like that. So I think that next week we'll talk about what's been going on with your parents in the house. So does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. So then we'll meet up in maybe a week and a half. I'll give you a call, and we can set the meeting time then. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Oh my God, 19.